morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good
Welcome
morning.
back to the next exciting episode of Series Gentlemen, episode 10. You got to my, ooh, this is cool. I'm in the bottom right now. You got to my left, Merc, right above him. Yeah, baby. Tombstone. Then to his right, good old Shooky Roxors, Shooky and Flap and Shook. I don't even know what he's going to go with now. Before we get started with today's episode, we're going to go ahead and get a couple announcements out the way. First and foremost, we ended up having to cancel the Rocket League season. There wasn't enough people that read the rules to pay the entry fee because you read the rules. And third, because it wasn't enough participants at the end of the day, so we're going to go ahead and reschedule that to a later date. Exclamation mark Battlefy in the chat will get you to our tournament sign up sheets. Second thing, I'd like to say thank you for Gamer Grind. Get your game themed coffee at exclamation mark Gamer Grind. One of my top favorite flavors is Kill Streak. Really good checkpoint as well. Check those out whenever you get a chance. Use our code TSDFW for a little discount, but it'll also help support things like the podcast and these tournaments that we keep bringing you. That definitely is something to check out. Also, like to shout out our new gaming racing chairs, GT Racing, exclamation mark GT Racing in the chat. We'll get you to our affiliated link to support the community as well. I'd also like to go ahead and say that next weekend, the weekend of August 7th, we're kicking off another exciting StarCraft 1v1 tournaments. That's popping off. That's another request that we got from the community. When is the next StarCraft? When is the next StarCraft? And everybody had a blast the last time we hosted one. So get involved, get in the Discord, exclamation mark Discord in the chat. We'll put you right into what our community looks like. Come join us, come hang out with us. We do anything from extreme esports type of gentlemen all the way down to chill back gaming with your cup of coffee, pinky way up type. Come hang out with us. And also like to shout out my boy Philip Thomas. You know, I rep all the time, even though he changes his art every other week. I'm just kidding. So first, let's before we get started, before I hand it over to Tombstone, what is everybody drinking? I know I'm on some coffee. Not sponsored. Well, this is not sponsored.
Water. I'm on keto diet.
Today's coffee for me too.
Today's water for me, but I left my cup in the kitchen, so I gotta go.
All right, everybody in the panel is a serious gentleman, and everybody on this panel is from Team Serious. Tombstone, take it off.
All right, hey guys. So first off, congratulations to Felix over here. We didn't get to say it, but we kind of predicted it. Mr. YouTube partner over there getting all of his grind on. So congratulations to him. He's normally on this panel. He's taking the week off. He's on his bye week, but congrats to that guy. Beyond that, we've had kind of a few weeks of just talking about gaming, and we're going to continue that a little bit today, but we're focusing on the games that make us who we are. So we're going to kind of play I don't want to say a would you rather, but we're going to talk about our favorites and our pastimes of gaming, and we're going to get into what has made us who we are in gaming. So the first question I want to ask is, we're just going to go around. I'm going to have a bunch of your favorites, and I kind of want to hear your thoughts about it. So the first one is I want to hear your favorite protagonist from any game that you've played since you started gaming. So I have a few. Number one is Drake from the Uncharted series. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Cloud from Final Fantasy VII is another. And last is Geralt of Rivia from the Witcher series. So those are my three. I think they're all very well-developed characters. I think that they all have immense backgrounds, but I'm interested to hear who you guys have for your favorite protagonists. And then, like I said, we'll get into some more favorites as we go.
I would, first two that come to mind, I'm a sucker for a John Wick-like kind of character, and the first two that come to mind are Commander Shepard from the Mass Effect series and Master Chief from, obviously, Halo series. Like,
those are good ones.
Yeah, those two, like, it feels... like, after playing the games, it's like they literally can do anything that they are like, all right, well, bad guys are invading this. I'm going to go over there and take over that planet with me and my two buddies, or by myself if you're Master Chief. Like, he's got like $1 billion suit of armor, and he's just going to go wreck the whole entire universe. So
he's grinded out that armor through multiple raids.
well, now Halo Infinite, who knows what the hell's going to happen. So, but I would, yeah, Commander Shepard is always, Mass Effect's one of my top favorite series.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
definitely Commander Shepard's up there for me.
I've heard Commander Shepard on 2 different occasions when I asked this question, and it's not a character that's as mainstream as you would expect, but Commander Shepard is high on a lot of people's lists.
Yeah, and like as much as people hated the ending of the trilogy, the very, very, very end, like I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but like the cutscene at the very end with the guy and his child, like that part alone just gave me goosebumps. Like all the rest of the ending kind of was like, but that part alone, it gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Yeah, we did it. All right, Shook, who's your favorite, man?
Dang, well, I don't know if anybody was thinking, but when Toom said Drake, I was like, yeah, his last album was pretty good. Oh.
Oh, wait.
Then I was like, oh, wait, only 3? I had a Taz moment. I was like, damn, I had like 20 in mind. No, I'm kidding, guys. For me, Mark, you took my thunder, man. John Wick, dude. John Wick was one of my top ones, and for not just because he's badass, but because for me, like I see myself with that same suit that he wears in the movies. That black suit, all blacked out. Man, to me, that's just like my dream.
But there hasn't been a video game made of John Wick, has there?
I don't think so.
No, I think it's I think they do like skins
Fortnite.
in different games.
I'll say Fortnite.
And then I'd have to go with Snake from Metal Gear series. I think he's
Damn, that's
he's
a good
one of my man crushes there. But I only have like 2, man. I'm not that big into games, so those are my 2 right there.
Well, why'd you have to go the only one that I was going to call out? Well, I guess I like Snake from Metal Gear. I think because Shook and I played it a lot growing up. Metal Gear Solid was a fantastic title. I was going to go with what's this dude's name? I already forgot his name. Resident Evil series. I guess I'm gonna have to go with that with Leon. Resident Evil series. Leon definitely was I guess my next one in line because somebody took my Metal Gear. I didn't think you were gonna call that out. I appreciate you though.
I think that those were all really good protagonists who really pushed their story. But whether we're talking about Commander Shepard, Snake, we talk about Cloud, whoever it is, they're really good about pushing their story, and that's exactly what the protagonists are supposed to do. But there's so much depth to those characters that you can spend 5 or 6 years playing these games, and you can get lost in that character development. For instance, now you have Geralt, who went from a video game icon, now he's a TV series, and you just learn more and more about this character as we go. And I'm excited to see. I hope someday somebody does a TV show or some kind of like small series of Mass Effect, and let's see how far that.
Don't tease me with that.
That'd be freaking fantastic, wouldn't it?
Don't tease me.
So the next question I want to talk with you guys about is I want to talk to you guys about the most stubborn thing you've ever done in gaming, or the most stubborn thing you've ever done in relation to games. So as a kid, my birthday's on Christmas Eve, so I never get to celebrate my birthday on the day.
Oh boy, here we go.
So I never get to celebrate my birthday on Christmas Eve because all my friends were on vacation or they were with family. So what we used to do is we used to have my birthday party was like the first week in December, and we'd get together and play a ton of games. And I had a friend of mine who we were playing Madden, and we were going to have this big Madden tournament for my birthday, and the kid would not stop talking. Just mad shit the whole time. He was just talking about how he was going to beat me 100-0 and all this other stuff. And we got started in the game, and I was able to pick Mike Vick in the game, and I knew he was broken and busted and all the things we talk about now. And he just kept talking, and I was willing to beat him 28-7 or whatever it was going to be. but he just kept talking. And so I ended up running the score up to like 100. I think it ended up 107 to 14 or something like that because I was just
Dang.
and so that's by far the most stubborn thing I've ever done. That and I was streaming Cuphead, and Brosian kept telling me I couldn't beat Cuphead. He knew I just couldn't beat this one boss, and I was so frustrated that for 6 hours on stream, I played the exact same level over and over and over again. And then after I beat it halfway through, I just kept playing it to prove that it wasn't a fluke. I think I beat the same boss like 7 times, but Brosian really got under my skin that day.
The thing that comes to mind for me as far as a stubborn situation in video games, I'm having a hard time coming up with one, but the one or two that come to mind is when I was playing Sekiro, and it's kind of like the same thing with you. There was no one really there like saying like, "Oh, you can't beat this." I was on a boss and I knew I could beat it. I just couldn't. And I was sitting there for like 3-4 hours, pretty much whole stream, just like, all right, one more time. I must have said one more time, I think like probably 10, 11, 12 times. And then almost the exact same thing happened literally yesterday when I'm playing Fable Anniversary Edition. I spent half the stream trying to open a damn demon door, getting my combat multiplier up to 14, and just about to rage and uninstall the game. And yeah. Those are probably the stubborn moments I have, is when I'm trying to beat something and can't, and literally spend hours just infuriating myself about it.
I can agree to that. Like Dark Souls,
Yeah.
Very first game I streamed on Twitch years ago, and I remember somebody jumping in there and kind of doing what we were talking before the podcast. We were like backseat gamers, but game was difficult. And I kept going back between using a controller, which I couldn't get into, to going back and doing keyboard and mouse because I was playing the PC version when I first dropped into PC. And I just ended up chucking the controller to like on my right, like on the floor, right? And then I got on my keyboard and mouse and I was able to beat the boss. I'm like, never touching that damn thing again. That was like my biggest thing. Like, I can't play with the controller. I can only play 2 games with the controller ever. I can only play Rocket League, and I'm going to play Laser League. Those are only 2 things that I even have a controller for. Most of the time, my kids, grab my controller and go plug it into their computers to play whatever they got going on with different games. But I do recall getting that kind of like extra saltiness from. I've never played Sekiro, but I've heard this Dark Souls type. But even
I stay
harder
away
than
from
that.
those Souls games.
Yeah.
Nah. I'm good. I'm good.
I would say for me, gosh, man, I'm old school. Like, I would play on the NES, and you know how those games are freaking impossible, man. And for me, I was determined as a little kid. I kept playing Ninja Gaiden. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the game.
Yeah.
For the NES, the original first one, okay? And I would always get to the last level, to the last boss, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm about to beat him this time. I'd get so hyped because I'm into the game. He messed with my father. I'm ready to take revenge. I'm here fighting the last boss, but that guy freaking takes like 3 hit points at a time every time he hits you. So you get there, you're full health, but you're like, you're trying to hit him, and then like 3 hits later, you're dead. And not only that, you're dead, but you start off in like 5 levels before you get to the final boss. So you have to work your way all the way back to the last boss.
Yo, that stuck with Shook. He remembered that all the way back from the NES days. Like, he remembers.
I remember
the exact health he took. I remember what I had to do afterwards. Like, it really got to him. You can tell.
I remember just as much as Two remembers when his birthday and all that stuff happened to him too back in the day.
That's because I'm bitter about the stuff, man. Come on.
It stems from our childhood, man. You know psychology, right?
He was not like, he got my father. Like, what do you mean?
That's funny.
You guys talk about like Ninja Gaiden being difficult, and you talk about Dark Souls. The game that was the most difficult for me starting out was I was playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on the NES, and you would fight all these bosses, and it was more about the rhythm of the fight than it was just skill. But then you'd get to Mike Tyson, and he'd hit you one time, and you would just die. It wasn't even a knockout. It was just he would kill you with a punch. And
after this exhibition that's about to happen, another Mike Tyson game's going to drop. Guaranteed. Watch.
Right. cheating ass games back in the day. Well, they were mirrored off our arcades, and arcades was just there to steal your quarters. Cheating ass.
Yep.
All right, so we've already talked protagonists. I want to talk to you guys about best story to you. What game has the best storyline to you? And I think I know kind of where everybody's gonna go a little bit.
Them is fighting words.
I'm gonna say it immediately. My favorite's The Witcher 3, but it loses some points in my view because of how many side quests there are and how long the side quests are. You can play the game main storyline, but you can probably play that in a day. But side quests make it a 10-day game. It's almost like it loses a lot of its value for that. So.
Witcher is the longest game ever. Taz, yeah, I see Taz. But best story, that's a tough one because I've played a lot of story-oriented games. I hate to go back to what I already said, but Mass Effect again has a huge appeal in story for me because it's one of the very few games that I felt connected a plot through 3 games so well. And I personally cannot recall a game that kind of Final Fantasy 13, but then those weren't that great. I've never played a game that had sequels that just kind of connected the story so well and kind of continued and kept you engaged in the plot, in the story, from the first one to the second one to the third one. And, I think that's why there was such a huge big deal about the ending of Mass Effect, because we had this epic story going on for so long. People have been waiting for it. And then you got this ending that was kind of just meh.
The thing that gives Mass Effect the leg up over Witcher, though, is their side quests do play into the main story. I feel like The Witcher sometimes just says, pause on the main story, go kill this thing.
Well, that's the thing. Every time I played Witcher, I literally spend 4 or 5 hours on one side quest, and I don't even touch the main story, or I get distracted because there was a question mark on my way to that side quest, and then I'm spending an hour in the tower trying to get the damn question mark, and I'm spending 20 minutes using my Witcher sense trying to find the little dot on the floor. I like Witcher though.
Just don't get lost, right?
Yeah. It is a beautiful game. It is a very, very nice looking game. And I'm always incredibly impressed with the writing and voice acting in that game. The painstaking effort it took to make The Witcher 3, it is a phenomenal game. There's no doubt about that.
For me, I would have to say the only real story, one of the few games that I do follow, is Elder Scrolls. The Elder Scrolls ties down not only great voice acting, but great lore altogether, great story, gluing everything together. If you played Elder Scrolls Online, where they do all these, expansions and then bring back the other games inside the online version, like the one they brought back Skyrim in this last chapter. And the chapter before that, they brought back, the Oblivion side of it. But I think that for me, that is probably one of the most, top games that I follow the lore for, that I don't skip everything. If you were to tell me today what is Destiny about, I was I don't know, I skipped the hell out of everything. I don't even know why we there, why we find these ugly dudes. But yeah, we out here, because I definitely skipped everything.
Destiny has great lore. It's just you have to go digging for it, which kind of sucks, but.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go back and just like Mark, I hate to go back to what I said earlier, but I'm gonna go to the Metal Gear series, and specifically, I'm gonna go to Metal Gear Solid 2. If you guys haven't played that one, I advise you guys play it, because towards the end, the main character Raiden, he has been manipulated by an AI the whole entire game, and he goes through the game realizing that he was controlled by the AI, but the AI at the end of the story reveals to them that it's so weird how to explain it, but it's
that's Sons of Liberty, right?
Yeah, and
that was
they were
such a good game.
So good, man. It was
good.
way ahead of its time, because it warned Raiden in the game that memes or not memes, but unnecessary data is
Yeah.
going to be swarmed on the internet. There's no filtration for it, and you're going to be, that human beings are just going to send out a bunch of unnecessary information on the internet, and it's just like it is right now.
I
You go to
literally have
Facebook.
goosebumps, like
Yeah.
thinking about it. Like,
Exactly.
that
If
was
you
a
played
great
it, you know
game.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because you go to the internet and you see nothing but unnecessary information. Open up Facebook, you see nothing but memes on there. There's nothing
It's
educational.
still very prevalent today, for sure.
Right. And this was like back in what, 2001, 2002?
Dude,
When
that
the
game
internet
almost
was-
had me shut off my console because at the end of the game, the AI comes on. It's like, you must shut off your console
Yeah.
now. Like, and I'm like, should I shut it off? I think I
It
should
broke
shut it off.
the fourth wall, man. It really got it. It was an amazing game. If you guys haven't played it, man, I'd recommend go back and play part 2, and it's
I would
the best, way ahead of its time. It's so good. So good. That's
Yeah.
my top pick.
I would agree.
All right, so the last one we're gonna ask, and then we'll get into some tech and some current event stuff, because we normally get lost in technology and current events. So we'll give some time to that. But the last one I want to ask about is, I sent this out as kind of a heads up, but I want to talk about the confessions of gaming. Okay, so what is your top confession of gaming? And mine, I don't like to admit it, but there was a time where Fortnite was by far my favorite game, and I logged in every day just to play it. And
Same.
it really gave me my base for PC gaming and multiplayer gaming. But I have a couple confessions, actually. I spent way too much time on Altered Beast on the Sega Genesis. I played that game way too much. And I used to love the idea of turning into a wolf. So I love the werewolf thing. Definitely got sucked into some of the games my daughter plays. She does the whole Roblox thing, and I have spent way too many hours on Barbie Dreamhouse dressing up a character. So lots of, and Flap can actually attest to this. He went through my Steam, but I spent some time dressing up a little character for my daughter. So yeah, those are my
That's
confessions
adorable.
for today.
Oh man, game confessions. All right, here you go. I play a significant amount of mobile games. It's true. I'm an avid
Hang on,
mobile
what's a
gamer.
significant amount? Now I'm interested.
I'm not gonna put a number out there or anything like
No
that.
one likes a mobile gamer. I'm just kidding.
Well, like Clash Royale, for instance, I've played Clash Royale since every single day since that game came out, and it came out probably 3 or 4 years ago. Like, I literally hop on at least once a day. It's not like a lot, but I'll hop on at least once a day, open a chest, have a battle, and then I'm out. But
I
every
never would
day,
have guessed that.
yeah, it's my confession. I'm never gonna admit it ever again. It's here and now and only, and I'm
So
never
the
gonna say
real
it out loud.
confession is how much you spend on inside of microtransactions inside
Oh,
the game.
I don't spend micro. No, I don't. No, I don't even do that on PC. Nah,
He ain't willing to confess that part. You know?
I rarely, like, unless it's for like a season pass or anything. I don't do microtransactions. I almost quit Clash Royale because they put a season pass in the game. I'm like, I've been playing this game for 2 or 3 years. It's been free. Now you put a season pass, I'm out. And then I wasn't out.
Oh, this is awkward. I
Confession.
don't have a confession.
Confession time.
I guess, and even then, like, I don't really like BR. I played PUBG for all like 10 hours. Still think it's trash, and that's my confession. I'm sticking to it.
He hates battle royales. It's not a dislike of battle royales.
He hates them.
There's such a disdain for BRs for him that when his sons play it, he disdains their play.
They get grounded.
He looks at me like I'm less of a human for playing a battle royale. Hatred, man, hatred.
He does. Yeah, that's true.
I think for me was a little bit of Fortnite myself, but I didn't really get into it because I sucked. As soon as I realized that I got beat by like a 10-year-old, I gave up the game. So Fortnite, I did a little bit of PUBG myself, and damn, I think that's it. A little bit of mobile game, but I've never spent any money on it either. So, but I'm pretty lame when it comes to that. I really don't have any.
I've been playing mobile Tetris Mobile a lot lately.
You're
like
old
Tetris.
enough to play Tetris, so
Hey, listen,
it fits.
7:30 every single night they give away $5,000 in cash and prizes, and I won $5 so far. Okay, so
That was a hook, line, and sinker right there, baby.
I was shocked when I saw $5 in my PayPal. I was like, "What? They actually paid out."
So we play this Pokemon community. They put out a fan made version of Pokemon, which has the first 7 generations of the game all slammed into one, and it's fantastic. It's got the Pokedex is like 802 Pokemon right now. But I'm in their Discord only because every day they do a giveaway. And so as soon as I see that notification pop up, I'm in there hitting a little because you have to go in and react to their giveaway message in order to be eligible. And I watch that thing like a hawk. I mean, every day. And sometimes they're like, "Oh, I'm giving away this Pokemon," and I'm like, "I already got one, but I still want it. Whatever it is, I want to win the giveaway. So give me." So I'm constantly watching that Discord.
Oh, speaking of Pokemon, I lied. I did have a guilty obsession, and Natsa knows this. I used to play Pokemon Go religiously when it first came out.
Yeah, I was right there with you, man. Like,
Did you walk to different places, or did you just like find a?
Yes.
oh yeah,
We walked, we drove, you name it, we
Yeah.
did everything.
It
Same
was
here.
so bad. One time I came to visit him because he invited me over to his place. And him and our other buddies were all together, and they all disappeared. And I was sitting there like cooking or something. I can't remember what I was doing. And then I look back and everybody's gone. And then I'll text him, "Where'd y'all go?" "Oh, there was some Pokemon here. We needed
gotta catch them all, man.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I was hooked on Pokemon Go for a while. Me and the wife, we were going to parks, we were going downtown, we were driving. Like, we had to get all the stops. Like, but you know what? I gotta give that game credit because it got so many people out and about. Because you go to a park, you went to downtown, I ran into people I hadn't seen in like a year or two. Like, they're like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Like, "Oh, I'm playing Pokemon Go." Like, everybody was doing it. Everybody was walking around. So that was a video game phenomenon. That really, really was.
I think Sage got more into Pokemon Go than I did. I'm the Pokemon freak of the house. Like, I love everything there's about Pokemon, but she's the one with the kids that did the Go thing. I didn't really get hooked into it. I think the reason why is because I'm in a big city, and I saw all the college campuses, and people are walking around with their phones out. And so, I mean, I got out and got really active during the time, but I would go out and I would be like, "Oh, I'm going to catch this Pokemon." And then I would be like, "Oh, there's a fishing spot." So I'd have my fishing pole with me, and I'd start fishing instead. So, I mean, it got me out of the house, but I never went out with the intention of catching something. I always would catch it as I went. And so Sage, on the other hand, she would go anywhere. If she saw a Pokemon she didn't have, she'd go battle gyms on purpose. And I'm like, "Can we just walk around the mall just one time? Like, stop fighting Pokemon." And
We had a park, and it was just like this big round park, and like it had so many stops, the gym, like, and we just went there like every weekend and just did laps around this park for like an hour or two. And like, it's nice. Like, you get exercise, you get sun. You know what I mean? Like I said, I ran into people. It was nice for a while, and then I live in Florida, so it became not nice for a while. So hot.
I think that's the thing with Texas is that it's so hot that I can't bring myself, especially during summer. I can't bring myself to go outside. It's just so damn hot.
Yeah, summertime is just awful.
Even
tell people it's worst time to
here
visit.
it's too hot sometimes.
Yeah. Or it's
Uh,
raining.
Yeah, that's true. So that kind of brings us to our next point. The world is getting back to normal, or a little bit, right? So we got major places that are opened up. I know here in Texas you've got theme parks, but it's at a certain, capacity, things like that. But we've got a lot of exciting news too. We've had sports have started back up. I know Major League Baseball's back on their season. They're kind of succeeding at it, kind of not. Basketball's doing okay for now. We'll see how that works. But really what I'm looking for now is, let's talk about current events, things that you're excited for in the world, things that you're excited to get back to normal, if there is such thing. I know for basketball, it's nice just to be able to open my phone up again, scroll through ESPN's app, and actually see live scores. Whether it's hockey, soccer, basketball, whatever, it's nice to see live scores again instead of something that's completely hypothetical. So I'm really excited about that. I hope we can get back to having some of the gaming conventions, some of the cons get back opened up, even if they're smaller. I just want to see some of those things get back to normal.
I am not a big sports person. Like probably the biggest sport I'm into has actually never stopped was UFC because they've been doing their fights still even through everything. But I would say if any sports I was excited about, basketball a little bit, but mostly hockey. Like I'm a big hockey guy being from Pittsburgh, Penguins, So, but what was I? Oh, convention. I hope the conventions can happen next year. I went to Guardian Con last year, which is now Gaming Community Expo. They changed their name, and obviously they canceled this year. I was really, really, really excited to go this year, but apparently that was a no-go, obviously. And next year, I'm hoping it happens next year, just because I've made tons more friends and would love to hang out with people and see them in person and hang out, have a few drinks, maybe grab dinner, lunch, all that fun stuff. As far as sports go, I don't know, man. Watching like all these sports happening with no crowd there, it's really weird.
It's almost creepy.
Yeah,
it's almost borderline creepy.
It's like it looks like NBA, for instance, the basketball games. It looks like it's practice. You know what I mean? It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it has that same like oomph.
You're talking about practice.
I just feel it feels like a scrimmage game almost. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Speaking of which, before anybody else goes on, Felix said the thing like, how cool would it be to live a life where you can just buy a private island? Like, I want my fights to continue on, so I'm going to go buy a private island and everybody will fly in there. It's
well,
way too much money.
There's a deal behind that. You know what I mean? I doubt Dana White went ahead and went and bought Fight Island. You know what I mean? He went to that country city, Abu Dhabi, and was like, "Hey, let's make a deal." You know what I mean? It's a business transaction, if anything. I can guarantee that. Yeah, I don't think Dana White or UFC went and was like, "Hey, let's buy a whole island." But
it would be nice though.
It would be nice. It would be nice. I'd go.
Check what you're looking forward to the most,
man. For me, it'd be traveling. I'd like to. I mean, you could, I guess, but I mean, there's so many countries that are banning people from the United States to travel there. It's kind of funny that the U.S. passport now doesn't have that much power as it used to because of everything that's going on. So a lot of countries are banning people from the US to go over there. But for me, it's travel. Like, I have passion for it. Like, right before, the pandemic, I was actually in Colombia and I was doing some business out there. And it's funny to see because the whole thing that was starting to happen here in the US. So I'm at this local town, it's a very small town out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm watching the news with locals there, and things are transpiring in America, right? They're saying, pandemic's getting worse. California's got this amount of cases confirmed. Texas has its first one. Florida's got like 3 or 4, and I'm watching with them, and it's kind of funny to see it from their eyes because they're like looking outside in, and they're saying, wow, is that really happening in your country? I'm like, I guess so. I'm going to go home to this. So yeah, I guess so. And for me, it just kind of opened up my eyes, and I was like, man, like traveling was a big passion for me. And if you guys know my girlfriend, Faye, it's a big passion for us. So we like to go out and stuff. So right before the pandemic happened, I was lucky enough to get back into the country before, the whole lockdown started. So it was quite a journey. And for me, I'm grateful that I saw that. And now I'm ready to go back at it. I'm sure a lot of people are too, but I'm ready to travel again. So that's one of the biggest things for me.
I work with a lot of people overseas, and they always ask me like, "Oh, is it like really bad over there? Like, we watch the news and it says this and that," and I'm like, the news, like, I can only tell you what I see in front of my eyes. Like, the news says this and that. Like, you know what I mean? The news tends to show the worst of the worst, obviously,
right.
But like Florida, for instance, Florida's not looking great right now, number wise, if you would see it. But if someone were to ask me, I'm like, in my immediate area, like, everyone's wearing a mask. Like, everyone's like, the part I do get upset about is when I drive around and I'll see like a restaurant like packed. I'm just like,
right.
Like, obviously I'm not doing that, but it's just like, hey, do what you do, I guess.
That's what what those are the people that give Florida a bad name because
Yeah.
they're at there and they don't take it serious and not wearing a mask or not practicing social distancing. So then you have a photographer who comes by and he takes a picture of generalist and then he posts it on whatever, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden he's got a big story that Florida is the worst at doing this and that. It's same thing here in Dallas. Texas is getting a bad rep because of it too, because they have a bunch of people and they're doing it just like Florida. They're going over here in shopping centers or restaurants and not wearing any masks, or they're not practicing anything, and then that's why we have such big numbers over here. It's just
Yeah.
those people that give us a bad name.
It was actually really funny because Natso's family and I, we get together quite regularly, and about a month ago we went out and spent some time together, and he and I were driving through this very small town in Texas, and believe it or not, like this town, it was like none of this stuff existed, right? So we're driving through this town and there's restaurants and there's shopping centers all over the place, and he can attest to it. I mean, we drove through there and both of us were just like, holy hell, we're in a place where the pandemic doesn't exist. Nobody's wearing masks, nobody's social distancing, nobody cares. People are walking up and down the streets holding hands, talking, laughing with their friends in big crowds. It was really like, it was great because for a moment you felt like things were back in normal, and then at the same time you're like, oh, this is extraordinarily dangerous.
Yeah. Well, like, like I said, my immediate area, like, I keep a close eye on numbers and everything, and they release daily numbers and everything like that, and it's trending downward in my local area, not Florida. I don't pay attention to state numbers. I'm like local. I want to know what's happening around me specifically, and as far as I see, stuff's trending downward. It's not like where it used to be, obviously, but it is trending downward, and that gives me hope. I'm hopeful. I'm taking a vacation this month, like later on at the end of this month, and I'm going into the mountains. I'm going away from everybody. I'm I'm
you look like a mountain
now.
man,
I'm
though.
distancing even further on vacation. I'm out. Like,
I would say that I'm on the same page with getting these cons together again. I love getting together, and a lot of the people that we've met. Like I met a Tombstone at QuakeCon, like in real life, and we already knew that we didn't live, originally too far away from each other. I met Merrick at QuakeCon and things like that. So I want to get back to experiencing those lands at QuakeCon and DreamHack. I want to get back out. I also enjoy traveling. We had a bunch of traveling plans this year. Everything got canceled. And getting back to a sense that when I walk out, I don't have to have not only a face mask, but I don't have to worry about everybody else around me in a sense, right? Just getting back out, going back to that small town feeling that Tombstone was talking about. It's what my brother said, because my brother lives in a small town in Missouri, going to Missouri State University. When he came down, like he was calling me, he's like, "Hey, dude, I'm graduating in August, and I just want to take a couple of vacation. I'm going to come down to Central Texas and visit you, and this, that, and the other." And we planned it out. And I was like, before you even get on the road, I told him, I need you to go buy a pack and mask anywhere, Walgreens, Walmart, whatever. He's like, for real? I was like, yeah. As soon as you hit Texas, anywhere you go, you have to have a mask. And to him was all like, damn, that sucks. Is where I'm at right now in Missouri. Like it's kind of like the small town in Texas we're talking about, where he's like, nobody's walking around with a mask here. We have like almost like we don't have a reported case in their immediate little town. I said, but it's a matter of time when it catches up. And sure enough, when he called my mom back to check up on her in Missouri, she was like, "Oh yeah, now we're starting to have a wave of it come through." But they're out in the country. He's like, so when they go into town to go to like Walmart and things like that to the grocery shop, they're starting hearing that chatter. They're like, "Oh yeah, so and so got sick." It's a small town, everybody knows each other, right? So and so got sick, so now we're gonna have to start probably wearing masks. But it's like they're finally getting to that point, right? The rest of us, I was like Texas is on a second wave. What you mean you barely get in the first one?
yeah.
But that's how separated they are. He was like, "Do I really have to wear a mask?" Like, yeah, bro. And don't be those guys. Just put a freaking mask on. Don't be that guy. Last thing you want to do is come all the way to Texas, come visit me, hang out with me for a week, and then realize that you took COVID back with you to Missouri.
Yeah, that would just give you super guilty conscious.
Yeah,
I would imagine,
every precaution, and I go back to the same thing that I've always said since it started. I'm like, were people not washing their hands before this? Because that's like my biggest thing. Like I told this to Flap, like I have a thing like where before, and when I'm at the house before and after, I had already gotten my kids and myself to always wash our hands before we leave, and when the first thing when we come back. So when they were reiterating this for COVID, I'm like, the kids were like, Dad, we already do that. And your mom loves hand sanitizer, and we always had hand sanitizer. I'm like, I don't know. I guess people were doing the same thing as we were.
Yeah. Like, I won't lie. I know a handful of people that have had it now. And one person I know has unfortunately passed away. But I would say I probably know 5 or 6 people now. Like, firsthand, like I used to, I talk to them all the time. And, thankfully they've all gotten better and stuff like that. And it's rough. It's hard to say, but I'm like, okay, everyone's like social distancing for 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm not talking to you for like 2 months. I'm like,
well, that's it's not just an effect on our daily lives. It's effect on our mentality. Being locked in the house all the time. It's an effect on all of our jobs. It's an effect on like going on to Amazon trying to buy something as simple as a microphone or a mixer. Like that, shit's getting expensive because
webcams, man. Holy hell.
Webcam's another one. Natsu and I, we were working on the audio setup for my stream and everything like that. And we tried to buy a mixer at one point, and a mixer and a microphone, dude. It was so hard to find something that I wanted because it was sold out everywhere. We've talked a little bit about the fact that, different programs or different initiatives may, run us dry on the supply of graphics cards, on CPUs, on things like that. But like, it's already happening. And if we have a big initiative that really pulls supply of a major like computer component, like these prices are going to go even higher. So it's kind of hard to be a PC gamer right now, or even just a streamer. It's hard because of mental state, the availability of different components. I'm glad my stuff is finally set up to where I don't have to buy anything, but man, it is really hard to be a streamer right now because of how this is affecting everybody. And more power to people like you. Yeah, absolutely.
I can't find a power supply, like a decent one, for the life of me. Because I was thinking about building a second PC, and I started looking into it, and I'm like, where the hell are all the power supplies at?
Yeah. Shortage happened like right now. Even if you look, like trying to get any kind of audio gear, even right now, trying to pull up an audio interface that before the pandemic hit might have been $30. It's going for 200. Webcam's the same thing. Well, I remember when Shuki and I decided, and Ramazy decided to go ahead and start these podcasts. Shuki ran down to like, what was it, a local electronics store or something, and you found one. And then the website was showing that they had a different one in a different store, and when he showed up, there wasn't that. Like all this stuff was sold out real quick. If it wasn't because I had an extra one that I used, like my older webcam, like my older Logitech, I was like, oh, I have this one. I just moved in and I found it. I was like, oh, okay, I found the box. So then I mailed that to Shook for it to use so we could start these podcasts. It was hard tracking down anything, and then the ones that you did find were these like really, really, really crappy Chinese ones where you can't even mess with anything. Like you can't mess with the white balance, you can't mess with the hertz, the refresh rate on it. You can't mess with anything. Because I bought one, and it was like $30, and it was like a no name from Newegg, and I was like, okay, I just need something 720p, whatever it's going to be for casting for a secondary camera for casting. And then I went to go plug it up, and that thing was so trash. You couldn't. It looks so orange when you're on the camera. You couldn't adjust anything. I just like literally chucked it in the bin. I was like, this is the worst webcam I've ever seen in my life. Chinese no name, you know what I mean? But but they were getting on it and selling people these garbage. And then I went to go try to find. I'm lucky that I had ordered a couple of things from Sweetwater. If anybody is not familiar with Sweetwater, that's where if you want to get anything audio, anything, you go to Sweetwater. And a lot of the things that they have, they post on Amazon. But anyway, so I went to Sweetwater and I tried to order 3 different interfaces before COVID even happened. And I'm glad one was back ordered before the pandemic. They finally got in, and all of a sudden, like one day I look at the mail, I was like, oh, I forgot I ordered this. Like this
nice little present.
Forever to get here. But you go back and you try to find, like, I was looking for a new mixer because I wanted to upgrade my mixing board to something a little bit better, and I couldn't find it. And if I did, it was like way too much. I'm like, no, dude, that mixer's not $500. That's a $200 mixer, not $500 mixer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just gonna have to wait till all this start going on. Same thing with power supplies. Where got a couple systems that I build I went with okay. I'm okay with that power supply, but that's not my first choice type. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
like
I'm about
all
to
I
go
can
with
find are
that.
bronze. I can't
Yeah.
find any gold.
Yeah, like I usually for myself, in my case and stuff, I try to get gold.
Yeah,
But I'm like, okay, this is this little bronze right here. This will do, but that's not the one that I wanted.
yeah, same.
There's even to a point, like it's affecting everything. We've hit on some of the points, but I just read an article like Riot Games is they canceled their mid-season invitational for League of Legends, completely canceled it. Said we're not doing any international events, and I think a lot of it is because of the travel bans. But now even their Worlds tournament, they were going to do a multiple city design for Worlds, and instead now they're just meeting in Shanghai. They're going to stay at one hotel. Everybody's going to stay there, and they're going to use the lobby there to build a stage and put on this tournament. And like, I'm glad they're being cautious and they're finding a way to make it happen. But I'm ready for things to not have to be built around this virus. Like, can I just go back to having my Worlds tournament? It's 3 weeks, and like the Olympics being canceled and that being screwed up, and I just want to go back to where I don't have to feel like it's, we talked about baseball. Like, there's no fans in baseball. There's these cardboard cutouts. And it is so weird that it reminds me of like a 2005, 2006 baseball game where all the people in the fans are, they're cardboard cutouts and they're doing this.
Yeah.
And that's what it reminds me of. There's some funny memes because like a Chicago Cubs fan, he put a Bartman picture down the left field line, so that was kind of funny. But I'm kind of done with COVID. Like,
they're even delaying games. We're seeing it with game delays left and right because they're saying like they're all working from home and game delays are happening like over and over. Like I think come like obviously it's delayed now because they've already been working on these games for so long already. And they're getting down to the nitty gritty and they're delaying them. But I honestly think around 2020, maybe early 2021, we might see a drought of games because everything's been delayed for so long right now that like the real meat and potatoes of game making isn't happening right now. So there's going to be, I feel like there might be a drought of video games at some point.
I think every week we have to have a Skate 4 reference as long as Flap is around. It's getting to the points where he's addicted to just talking about it.
We have a Skate versus Tony Hawk battle ensuing. Almost as heated as the waffle versus pancake debate.
Speaking of that, Natso went off and posted that damn steak meme on the Facebook group, and it's just no matter where that steak meme goes, it's how do you like your steak prepared? That every time it goes up, it's 100 comments instantly. People are so pissed off about the way their steak is. I mean, it's all good. Like I really enjoy the discussion, but if you say well done, just get away from me. I don't need that negativity, and I don't think Team Serious needs that negativity. So
I always say it depends on who's cooking it. That's always my answer.
See, that's a good diplomatic approach. Shook, how do you like your steaks? We've had this discussion amongst the panel. You gotta tell us yours
now. Medium or medium well's fine with me. I'll take them both.
I'm fine with however you cook them. Medium well.
There was somebody on the chat who said they want it well done with ketchup and did he say ranch or something?
That was good. That was my dude. He's trolling, but he said extra well done with ketchup and pineapple. Just to troll the comment. And I laughed really hard when he said that because I knew he was just doing it to get that troll in there. You know,
I get a medium rare or medium. Like I said, depends on who cooks it.
I'm the same, medium rare and medium to me. Well, how did we get back into food? Why do I do
your
this?
fault?
Yeah. Well, no, I said pancakes versus waffles, and then Tim kind of took it off from there.
I can't allow that to go unanswered. It's the same thing. It's no matter what I'm doing. If I see the Facebook meme of I like waffles over pancakes or pancakes over waffles, and then somebody will throw in a French toast, and You can't scroll by that without giving your opinion.
Someone
It's
will
a
throw
must.
in the French toast.
French,
Dang.
French toast is
Everybody
better.
knows French toast is the best, but waffles and pancakes are close
See?
enough that like you have to have a debate about it.
If you're not willing to give your opinion on that, I'm not willing to hear your opinion on anything else.
And by the way, the right answer is waffles. Just to let everybody know.
We're gonna start this again.
There is a specific order. It's French toast way up here, and then down here is like waffles, pancakes. They're close, but it's waffles, pancakes. French toast is, especially stuffed French toast, way up there.
You ever make French toast with cinnamon raisin English muffins? Yeah, that's right. Go try
You
that.
had me at French toast.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's okay.
Flaps over here using his British language, calling fries and chips the same thing. I can't stand this guy. Like, why is he even here?
Fries or chips with a sandwich?
Well, they call their chips crisps.
Yeah.
And then their chips and fries are basically the same thing. But I can't handle him anymore. We're gonna have to throw him. He's got to get thrown. Can we ban him?
Is a burger a sandwich? Yeah, I would say a burger's a sandwich.
This is like asking if water's wet. Like, why are we having this discussion?
Don't start that shit again, man.
Oh man.
See, these are the confessions we really need. Things that you think about when you're laying there at like 3 o'clock in the morning, you're staring at the ceiling and you're like, what the hell's going on in my life? These are the confessions you need.
I'll
Like,
be honest, I never have wondered if a burger is a sandwich or not. Why?
see, he can't go 5 seconds without answering. We have
Well,
to have
I thought
answers.
you were busy.
Oh, see, that's another one. Felix just brought it out. What color is that dress?
I'm colorblind. I couldn't.
Blue
tell
and
you.
black or gold and white? That was and then they did the shoes, right? I think the shoes were the next one.
I don't know.
We've had a lot of that. Oh,
I have
just can't
trouble
stand
telling the difference between any color, so that's legit. People don't believe me when I say I'm partially colorblind, and then I'm playing a game. I'm like, "Oh, look at that brown thing." They're like, "Merc, that's red." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
We actually discovered. I was playing in I think it was the duos tournament, or maybe it was the solos. I was playing in. Deffy and I were playing together, and I don't know what we were doing. We were practicing or something. And Deffy, he's one of the UV members, and we were playing. And he and I were playing, and I kept telling him, I was like, "Go for the blue one." And after about the third time, I was like, "Do you see the damn color?" And he's like, "No, I'm colorblind." And I was like, damn it, I feel like an asshole because I kept saying go for the blue, go for the blue, go for the
Did
blue.
you
go
see
for
it?
the
It's
blue.
purple.
He couldn't see it. It was purple to him.
Yeah,
And
that's
really
a common thing
frustrating.
for me too. I see blues as purple sometimes. Browns, reds, and greens get mixed up sometimes. It's weird. It's weird. I want to try those colorblind glasses and see if they'll work.
I don't have any vision problems at all. I know I'm looking just here on our panel and I see 3 sets of glasses and I don't have
Oh, yeah.
any. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm one of the lucky ones. I don't have that problem.
I denied it for a long, long time, and then my mid-20s, it caught up with me.
Wait, you mean you can see for free?
America. Wait, what?
Hashtag blessed. That's good, man. Good for you.
Hey, you can grow a beard. Shut it.
Poor two, beardless.
Hi, dude. So I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we got
Birthday
here.
near Christmas.
I can't remove the screen with all of us being able to talk, but I just want to bring some attention to the new Serious Gentleman logo where I feel horribly discriminated against. Okay. There is not a single picture of a beardless man on there. Okay. We got like Brozine and Merc on there, and I hate this. You're gonna have to come up with a red goatee on there or something.
I told him I was gonna, since I had the artist right up, I have the PSD file. I was gonna throw a couple bald guys in the back to make it feel better.
Now I feel attacked. All right.
See, That's what happens when you have a panel of 4 with rotating members. Somebody's always going to feel just a little slighted. Can we put a guy with a desktop with a bunch of icons on it so we can just deal with Flap and his shit?
He gave me something. I want to be the guy on the right. I look up to the guy on the right. I want to be him when I grow up.
But he has no face. Like, I can't. I would like to share the screen and show the picture, but
when you have a majestic beard and hair like that, you don't need a face.
But like the guy on the right doesn't have a face. I feel like I need to be the guy on the left because I have a big nose. But Shook, somebody's asking in the comments why you never talk, and I'd kind of like to know the same thing. Like, you can just jump in here.
Yeah, sure, man. What do you want to know about me? I mean, if you have any questions on the chat, this is I guess this is an interview for Shook. No, I mean, whatever, dude. Just like I like the conversation we had earlier about some of the games and protagonists we had earlier. That was awesome. I'm always down to talk about anything business wise too. I love talking about business. We have a few businesses of our own. If you guys don't know, Team Serious is one of them, but we also do stuff outside of that. So I mean, ask me anything. I'm willing to talk, man.
See, that's the best thing about these podcasts is that we have a skeleton of an idea as to where we want to go with it, or I do, and then as I go through the day, I slowly start to mold that because I see we're not really going to. We need to steer clear of food. Like that's still the goal. Steer clear of food debates because people get really irritated about those sometimes. So, Flap, I really don't like you. Okay, so Flap's asking a question for you, Shook. What's on your shelf? Last week, for those of you who were here, or maybe you don't know, we did a show and tell of Flap's entire shelf. So, what's on your shelf today?
There is the most random thing on there is a humidifier. It's at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that where my finger's at. And then the rest are papers and books because we love to read. We love to read anything that's business, and those are business books. And there's more on that side. Wait, that side. Yeah, there's more on that side. So that's what's up there. And then there's just a bunch of like a shredder, printer, and another computer back there where my girlfriend works.
See, it's nice this week because Natso's literally 2 feet from me, but I'm behind the green screen or in front of the green screen. He's showing my room. So all the pops behind him and a bunch of Dragon Ball Z characters and stuff like that, but now they've all fallen over. So wants to know, are we going to talk about how good the graphics are in the new games? Not sure which game you're relating to specifically. I'm not a big graphics guy. I don't have to have the greatest graphics to play games, but that's a good starting point for another conversation. Is I don't have to have good graphics. I mean, good graphics. I don't have to have great graphics. Not all my games have to look like The Witcher.
You know what game looked like it had phenomenal graphics? The new Halo. I'm saying that sarcastically.
You know what
Sorry.
game has the best graphics? Minecraft. Oh.
But they did say Halo will be able to run at 120 frames per second on the Xbox. But it's because of those beautiful graphics it probably has. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think I'm kind of the same as you, Toom. I don't really need phenomenal graphics to enjoy a game. Like, I've played The Witcher 3 with the mod that ups the graphics that make it look extremely pretty. I will say Witcher has some amazing vistas and beautiful, beautiful scenes. But I'm not a big graphics person. I was very surprised about Halo in the video it showed or decided to show. I was thinking with it being their next gen console and it not even being released yet that they would have tried to wow us a bit. And I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Halo series in general. And I was somewhat let down by that. I don't know. It just didn't really pop for me, but that's me.
That's the quote of the day. Thanks, Brosine. I mean, I can play games that are less intense graphically if the story makes sense or if I'm just invested in it. It's just not something that I'm not built around graphics. I know a lot of people are really into graphically intense games, but even with Warzone, I'll turn down the graphic. It can run at full power. I just don't have to have it.
I like it when I'm like surprised and wowed in a game. Like, it happened last time I played Witcher. I was running up a mountain and like literally the sun was setting and I looked at it and I was like, holy crap, that looks incredible. A work of art, really. Like, I like it when it surprises me, the graphics, where I'm like, wow. Like, I don't go into a game looking for great graphics. I like it when it surprises me how good they are. And with PC, because I've recently become a PC gamer in the past year or two.
You're welcome.
But it looks phenomenal on there, especially when you get mods involved and stuff like that.
I think all of us on this panel, I don't know about Shook or not, because he's not as much into the games as he's into the business side and the business model, but all of us have gotten back into Destiny 2 recently. And Destiny 2...
What's that?
Yeah, right? Destiny 2 doesn't have the graphics that amaze you and wow you, but they have graphics that fit their need, and it is stunningly beautiful in the moment. So, like, if you go to Io, especially, like, Io is the one that really gets me. Every time I land on that planet, it sucks me in because of, like, the image that Io is supposed to have, and it relates perfectly with what they've created. So, Io, and even I think the moon looks like what the moon should look like on Destiny, but the graphics aren't going to blow you away. But kind of like you said, it's what you expect to see, and I think that fits perfectly for me.
Well, not only that, but like I said, I just recently in the past year or two became a PC gamer, and I will say that Destiny, because we have to remember Destiny started off on console only. Destiny 1 was on console only, and when they released Destiny 2 and they put it on PC, like, I don't know about your guys' experience, but usually when a game goes from console to PC, usually it doesn't work out for the best. And Destiny 2, at least in my experience, has been one of the most well-optimized games on PC that I've played. Like, because I was hardcore on D1, and, I've never had PC issues running Destiny 2. I thought it felt amazing on mouse and keyboard. I never had a problem streaming it, unlike other games like Warzone or anything like that. And it's just, I honestly think Destiny 2 is definitely one of the more well optimized mass multiplayer games out there.
Somebody said it when I was playing with him. I think it was Lance. I was playing him because he played on console and then got the cross save enabled and migrated over to PC. And we're picking it back up because he hadn't done Shadowkeep, so I was helping him through the story. And he was all like, dude, I played this on console, and I tell you right now, this version, the PC version, looks so much better, so much crisper, so much more beautiful. Because Felix and I say all the time when we play and when we do our streaming sessions or recording sessions, he's like, dude, this game is gorgeous. Like, I know.
Yeah.
And then when he goes back and I hear it from a console player, it's like, I thought it looked good on console, but like nowhere near. Like, I jumped over to 120 hertz monitor. I'm running, higher resolution. The thing is just crisp and beautiful. I was like, I didn't think there was that big of a difference. That's what I said. I didn't think there was a big of a difference. I mean, the only thing I said is like, I know, but I've been here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how it looks on PS4 or Xbox. Yeah. I don't know. I don't own any of that.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. Same thing with Monster Hunter. When the PlayStation buddy that played with me, the one that kind of showed me the ropes on Monster Hunter, he was all like, I played it on PS4 and I got thousands of hours in it, but when I jumped over to PC, I was like, I've never went back to my PlayStation, because that's how much of a difference it was, not only in performance, 5-minute wait times is what he was telling me, but just in like how much more immersed you got into the game because of the graphics, how much more detailed they were. And that's coming from somebody that spent already like 1,000 hours on the PlayStation version of Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't imagine, because I just powered on a PS4 for the first time in my life, like maybe 2 weeks ago or a week ago. I was not setting it up with Natso to get some FIFA action going, and just playing FIFA on the PS4, man, it felt like it was super boggled down because I'm a PC gamer. That's me. I PC game all day, and I turned on that PS4. I was like, wow, this is something else, man. I feel for some of these guys who who play PS4 but don't realize
Yeah.
it, and then you go to PC and then you kind of appreciate what what the PC can offer. So
Yeah,
that's my take on it.
I hate to say this, but the last time I played Destiny 2 on console, it was because like, hey, it has cross save, so I can play on the same account. And I was like, oh, let me do some things in my living room while on PlayStation real quick. And I turned it on and started hopping around, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, I just kind of was like, changed my mind on that. I don't know.
I'm really glad I decided to pick up Destiny for the PC. We got it about I don't know, when did it come to Steam? A year ago, year and a half ago. I mean, it's been a while now, and I'm glad I started playing it again because I appreciate it more now on my PC than I ever did. And it goes back to that immersion in the worlds, right? Whether it's IO, Titan, wherever I go on the game, it just feels like I'm immersed in that environment. And
It's in a great
Destiny
spot right now.
well, I think you can tell just from our three communities. I mean, everybody's playing Destiny.
Yeah.
It's even whether you're grinding it out, whether you're just beating the story mode, or whether you're just goofing off in it, everybody's playing it. And
Not only that, but all the DLCs are going to be on Game Pass, and that
a lot.
Game Pass's value right now is insane. Like, there's so much value in Game Pass, it is ridiculous. Like, Microsoft is literally becoming the Netflix of games right now. They're getting everyone in the door with Game Pass, with how cheap it is and how many quality games there are. And then, the obvious is going to happen. They're going to start raising the price a little bit, but people aren't going to mind because it's either that or they have to pay $50 or $60 for a brand new game that they can continue playing on Game Pass, even if they're paying an extra $2, $5, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a big fan of what they're doing with the Xbox, but I'm a huge fan of what they're doing with Game Pass. I think they're running the Game Pass thing extremely, extremely smart on their part.
I agree. It looks like everybody took after what EA Origin in their past. They've been running it before everybody did. Everybody kind of took that business model concept. Uplay implemented it, Microsoft implemented it, Sony implemented it. So all these people are going to these paid services because the game is starting to cost.
Oh yeah,
these new consoles are going to drop, and they're going to go from 60 to 70, or whatever the new pricing is. And now you're having to choose between a CD drive or a Blu-ray drive, I should say, a Blu-ray drive and a non-Blu-ray drive. And I'm sitting here looking at people like, I haven't used a drive in 10 plus years. Like, what you mean? Like, I've been on ISOs and Q files and bit files for a long time. People still mess with media. Like, the other day I was just like taken back. Like, why are people still buying Blu-ray drives? That was my thing on it, because I do everything digital, but I've been doing it for over 10 years.
Yeah.
Completely digital. I haven't installed a 5 1/4 drive in a PC and I don't know how long.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need that 5 1/4 bay taking up my precious radiator
don't
space.
even come with them anymore.
Yeah, I don't need. Don't mess with my radiator space. That's all I'm saying.
Now it's just there for nostalgia, right? It's just like, oh yeah. The C drive. Forgot those things existed.
I think Dave put one in his computer, just because how old he is.
I'm still a sucker. Like, if I have the option with I'll end up probably getting a new PlayStation, and I'll probably end up getting the disc drive because I'm still part of that. I like to have it in my hand. Like, don't get me wrong.
The physical copy, right?
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I know it's not all there and all that. I get it. And I understand. Even me saying it, 80-90% of the stuff I have is digital. But there are those times where I still like having the case of the game. I like having that disc in there. It makes me feel nice. You know what I mean? I don't know. I get the whole digital thing, and I'm very much a part of that. But at the same time, I like having that physical disc.
Yeah, that's why I keep a floppy around. Oh. Okay.
Well, you know what? That Game Pass is the reason Stadia is not going to work out.
Oh, God, not again.
Hey,
2 weeks ago,
like
I was watching this podcast, and you guys were talking about Stadia, and I'm just watching it screaming at my screen. I'm like, no, so what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Stadia?
That's like 3 podcasts in a row. Stadia's been brought.
Man, it's that whole thing. When we get together, we always mold our conversations to something new, but it always comes back to the same discussion.
It's
No
because
matter what
of-
happens, it always comes back to things like Stadia, or it comes back to flapping.
It goes back to waffles and steak.
Well, let's make a no talk list. Waffles, steak, Stadia. All right, those are off the talk list.
Then we have to.
DVD media, Blu-ray media. Where we're at it.
If that's the case, we can't talk early access. We can't talk.
You can't talk
desktop,
VRs.
We can't talk VRs. Like we're gonna be having a banned podcast before long.
I do have a question. I'm curious if any of you have tried Steam Link, and what are your thoughts on Steam Link?
Yes, and I've owned it since it dropped.
I'm trying to get a box right now. I was actually very, very surprised how well the app worked on my phone, but I really, really want to get a box, and I'm trying to get a hold of one right now. They discontinued them like 2 or 3 years ago, but that's the thing. I could play Destiny on my console, but I'd rather hook up a Steam Link and play it through that instead. But
see, now we're going in circles again. And it's what we do. We just talk in circles on this podcast.
I've had one since they released it. I rarely use it. It's a great concept. It's think about Chromecast, but with their OS.
Yeah.
Would I get it again? Probably not, because I ended up having already things that could cast in my TV. Do I recommend it? Not really. I mean, unless you really want to like play in a different room away from your desktop, it's really the only way I see it working. Or having having just a beam, like a second screen, like beaming it to your TV to like spreadsheets or Word documents or everything else, because that's all it does. It gives you access to your TV remotely, right? Unless you want it for that, because the only thing I've ever used it for, honestly, is when somebody comes over, like, hey, can you show me something? I was like, yeah, I'll just beam it to the TV. Like, I'm gonna go play a specific game or show you something from my desktop or from my laptop. That's the only time I've ever used it.
yeah,
A game on it, there's still some latency. Like, there's Bluetooth, you sync a controller to it and everything, but there's still like a slight delay there that's enough to piss me off. So I'm like, I'm not using this thing. But I'll beam it out to the kids. Like, they're like, hey, Dad, can you go back and show us that one time or this little area to see how we can beat it? So then I'll go in and I'll beam that game over to the big TV, and then they'll see how I did it, and then they'll okay, cool, that's it.
yeah.
But I've never really put like a lot of use in my Steam Link.
I'm about to go on vacation. I just wanted to keep up with my Destiny grind when I'm out and about. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not with a first-person shooter and that, but
just play it on mobile, man.
Hashtag pro mobile gamer.
All right, guys. So we've been here for a little bit of time now. I know we started about 5 to 10 minutes late, but let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. Let's go around the horn. Let's tell people where we can find you. Give you some time for your closing remarks, and then we'll just close it out from there.
My name is Merc Show. I stream during the week and Sunday morning. During the weekdays is at nighttime, and Sunday morning. You can find me around Team Sirius and the United Vindication crew, playing Destiny, Witcher, and all sorts of other stuff. But yeah, that's it for me.
You can find me anything Team Serious, TeamSeriousDFW.com. Go check that out. We'll have everything on there. Podcast. Going to be announcing a Minecraft contest here, so if you're a PC gamer and got Minecraft, the Java edition, not the Bedrock edition, we're going to be releasing some details on how to get involved into a building contest on the Team Serious server, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, you can catch me at the Team Serious Discord, ! Discord in the chat, or anything and everything to do with TeamSeriousDFW.com.
You can catch me, Shook, at the Team Serious Discord. We're one of the admins. Natsu and I are working together with Ramezi, who's another partner in the business on the Team Serious side. So we'll have some announcements for you guys coming up soon who are part of the community. Find us there if you want to get involved with Team Serious. That's the place to do it. You can either reach out to any of the admins on the Discord, or you can go to TeamSeriousDFW.com and find out how you can be a part of our organization. We are also a tournament organizer, so we have some tournaments coming up. The StarCraft 2 that Natsu and 2 mentioned earlier, and then we have the Minecraft contest that Natsu is going to announce as well. If there's anything business-wise that you guys would like to discuss at any point, You can speak to me, you can speak to Natsu, you can speak to Ramazy, and we can get those bases covered. If there's anything in the community, otherwise, you can also speak to us as well. There's a lot of good things happening, guys. If those of you who just joined us here on the podcast, keep tuning in or get involved with the community, because you're going to see some great major changes happening very soon when it comes to the business and the organization itself. So we're going full speed, guys, and we're not slowing down. So if you want to, now's the time to jump on board. If you have any questions, let us know. Other than that, that's where you can find me at Team Serious Discord.
I'm excited for those StarCraft tourneys.
They're
I
awesome.
love StarCraft.
Yeah, that first StarCraft tournament was fantastic. So I really don't do much outside of Team Serious and UV right now, but I do plan to get a little more active in streaming. You can find me here every Sunday morning. I really enjoy these podcasts. If not, you can find me supporting Team Serious in other ways, whether it's tournament organization, whether it's just hanging out with the ladies podcast, which is on Wednesday nights. Make sure you stop by and check those ladies out. It gives a fresh new perspective on gaming and life. And they do the same thing we do here, except they do it with a fully female panel, and hearing their take on things it's always an awesome thing to hear. So you can find me either in Team Serious's Discord. You can find me in UV's Discord doing either one. Normally trying to play or organize tournaments because I like the competitive scene more. Just another shout out to all of our sponsors. Those guys have been with us since the first episode. We're already on 10. Episode 10 will be on episode 11 next week. And just the success we've had in the first couple of months of this is fantastic. So we're hoping to keep that going. Shout out again, Gamer Grind, GT Racing Chairs, Pix Backpacks, and which is the other one, Rogue Energy. So make sure you guys come back. Like Shook said, make sure you're tuning in every Sunday morning. It's a panel of 4, but you guys are always, it's always highly suggested that you get active, get in here and talk and give us some new ideas to talk about, because one question can send us on a tangent for 3 hours worth of talking. So please make sure you're participating, get in, get active, jump into the Team Serious Discord, be active. This can be as great as we want it to be, but without you guys, it can't be as great as we'd like. So we need you guys. Also, Flap just shouted out the merch store as well. Get into Galaxy Hound and buy your Team Serious merch as soon as you possibly can. Outside of that, you guys have a wonderful weekend, another wonderful week. I know a lot of things are changing out there. Please stay safe. Make sure you're doing what you can to keep everyone around you safe. If you need anything, reach out to one of the admins or the mods at Team Serious and we can help you out, or just reach out to a friend and they can point you in the right direction. Outside of that, like I said, make sure you guys have a wonderful Sunday. Try to enjoy your time off if that's what you get. If not, enjoy your time at work. And with that, as always, stay serious.
Stadia is awesome.
The closer you got to me, the faster I try to